Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Books I've Never Read. My name is James Richard, and today Tessa and I will be discussing the classic Victorian novel, Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. If you like this book and you want to talk about it or any book at all, really, you can find me online on Instagram and Twitter at It's Dirt Vonnegut. Again, that is at It's Dirt Vonnegut on Instagram and Twitter. I'd just like to thank y'all for listening, and I hope you enjoy this conversation.
She was no longer the milkmaid, but a visionary essence of woman, a whole sex condensed into one typical form.
That's pretty heavy.
He called her Artemis, Demeter, and other fanciful names, half teasingly, but she did not like because she did not understand them. Stupid.
So what you're saying is Tess was maybe not the most intelligent.
Fucking dumb. She didn't get educated. She was too poor to be educated. Call me Tess, she would say askance, and he did.
So...
Don't call me Artemis, asshole. Call me Tess.
Call me Tess. That's my name.
That's my fucking name.
And we are recording.
Yeah. So. What an introduction.
What an introduction.
My name is Tess.
Your name is Tess.
My name is Tess.
Which is that why you love this book? Is it just...
Yeah.
This is why...
Namesake situation.
You love...
Yeah.
Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Of D'Urberville fame.
She is a pure woman faithfully presented by Thomas Hardy.
That was good. That was a good intro. That was a good intro.
That's like the official title of the book. Yeah, so anyway, this is like your dossier on me.
Yeah, this is my text file, Tess. And this is just everything I know about you. She's a tall lady. And has never, that I know of, been raped in the woods, which we'll get to later about the other Tess. So,
surprise.
When did you first read this book? Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. Got the name of the author right this time. And why do you love it?
Let me count the ways. I must have first read it, so I don't have the cover because it's fallen off.
It's a well-worn copy.
It's a well-worn copy. We were talking about this earlier.
Smells delicious. Smells delicious. Like the inside of a Salvation Army.
Kind of like my grandma's old book closet. She kept all her Bibles. Yeah, so I think my sister gave it to me in 2006. The height of my high school career.
The year of our Lord. 2006.
The year of our Lord. I can't talk. Yeah, so she gave me this copy, but I don't think I actually read it until... I think there's a theme here. I think all of my favorite books I read 10 or 11 years ago. Probably not long before or after I read Lolita, actually.
Ooh, another troublesome book.
Yeah, I feel like I read it at some point in college. And you asked why? Why this book?
Yeah, why this book?
We talked about this a little bit off the record. But I think for me, it's just like tragic. It's so tragic. And I kind of like that because there's just like no redemption and you don't get a ton of stories where just like the main character is totally fucked from beginning to end.
Yeah. From everything I read, I didn't watch any of the movie versions this time, though there are aplenty. It's super fucking depressing. It's just like this woman just getting shitted on just for fucking her whole life, basically. Mm-hmm. And that's why you like it.
And that's, yeah, I know that's sounds very bizarre. But I think it's like refreshing is a weird word to use. It's really refreshing to just read the saddest book on planet Earth. And, but I just, I like the idea that somebody out there is willing to admit that, like, some things are shit and they just never get better.
Yeah, like some people just have terrible lives.
Yeah.
Like some shit is just awful. Sometimes there's just no redemption.
There's just no redemption. And, like, this character, it's not like she deserves this. I mean, she's poor, so yeah, maybe.
Right. That's I guess.
And we all know the poorest deserve
As we all know, yeah. The poorest are essentially asking for it. If they didn't want it to happen, they'd just be rich.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which Tess tries to do.
She sure does. Yeah. She's a dairymaid. Is that what you're referring to? Or are you referring to when she goes to...
No, I'm referring to...
claim her namesake.
Yeah, she goes to claim her namesake. Tess Derbyfield.
No, Derbyfield is her name.
Is her name.
Yeah.
Right.
Tess Derbyfield.
And she wants to be...
A D'Urberville.
These are great names.
Only in England.
Only in England.
Yeah. So, essentially, that's where Tessa's trouble begins.
That's like how the story starts.
Well, the story starts with the May dance. The May Day pole parade. I don't know. What do you call it? The women's club dancing, I think, is what they're...
The maypole dance.
Yeah, like the women's
Is there
club. Women's club dancing.
Is there a significance?
I'm just imagining like jazzercise or something.
Right.
That's a good question. Is there a significance to the dance? It's just something fun for ladies to do.
That's just where the story starts.
It's just where the story starts. Yeah. So we just watched that clip of the dance, and
we did, yeah, one of the
more modern versions. But yeah, so I guess there's just a bunch of women.
It does actually. That's where my plot summary starts.
Yeah.
She first appears performing the May Day dance, where she exchanges a meaningful glance with a young man named Angel Clare.
Angel Clare, yeah. But so she's like the prettiest.
She's the fucking belle of the ball.
She's the belle of the ball. I was trying to think of
she's
she's
the prettiest future milkmaiden at the May Day dance.
Exactly. She's just that's like the one thing Tess has going for her. She's just a total babe.
Right.
So
which I think works out to her detriment.
She gets literally fucked.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah.
Because of it? By it?
Yeah. There's no redemption.
There's no redemption.
No fucking redemption.
So yeah, she actually... This guy is just with his brothers, like, rollicking. Is that a
That's a word.
Rollicking?
Yeah. Just broing out.
Just broing out.
Just doing bro shit.
Like, traveling the country because they're more well-to-do, and that's what you do if you're more well-to-do. You just walk
just fucking have a good time.
You walk around the English countryside.
Right.
And you just spy on pretty girls dancing.
Like a creep.
Yeah. So he goes and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go dance. That's my
Angel Clare impression. That was good.
Thank you. He's gonna go dance, but the part of it is that he kind of leaves Tess hanging. Like they notice each other.
Right. They don't get back together again until much later.
He kind of slights her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's very offended and hurt because she sees him, and he looks at her. I think, but there's no he just
goes back to
the next hoe.
Go back to broing out.
Yeah, and then he goes back to broing out with his dudes.
With his dudes.
So that's where we're introduced to Tess.
And yes, Tess is very poor. Tess Derbyfield, poor lady, poor family, poor alcoholic dad.
Yeah, her dad is big old,
just a boozer.
Just a boozer.
He's the first of many shitty dudes. This novel is just full of a bunch of worthless men.
Yeah, exactly. Which is maybe another reason I like is I like to read just stories about worthless men.
Yeah, that tracks. That
Yeah.
does. That does. That sounds right. So he finds out that their family might be descended from like a noble family,
Right.
the D'Urbervilles.
Yeah, the D'Urbervilles. I think like the parson just sees him on the road one day and he's like, yo.
Right. You might be rich.
You might be rich.
Why are you poor and drunk?
You
Fucking around with these horses.
Yeah. So.
Which that's just a thing back then. Like you're a descendant from a rich family, so you can just go claim like your
Kinship.
Yeah. Be like, give me a piece of that check. What you got in the vault?
Give me some of that gold.
Give me some of that gold. I know you got gold down in that vault.
I need some of that land you're living on. Yeah, so you know, you get this sort of sad snapshot into Tessa's home life. Like her mom has like 12 kids. No, I don't know how many kids there are.
Right. Just a flock of fucking poor children.
Just poor children.
Right.
And Liza Lou, her sister.
Right.
Which I guess she's maybe not much younger than Tess.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, her dad, who's just down at the pub, the inn.
Right. Just drinking away whatever money. Whatever little money they got.
Yeah. So I guess the next part comes into play when she kills the horse.
Right, yeah.
Right, and she's
Prince.
Is that his name?
That's his name. That's what it says in the summary
do you think
here.
He's named after the musical artist?
I hope so.
The musical artist is named after the horse?
I'm gonna go with he's probably named after the musical artist. If we're going for cultural significance here.
Okay, cool.
So Prince dies. The horse dies.
Right, and the reason she's on this errand is because her dad is just too fucking drunk to fulfill his obligation. So he sends Tess. And
then
she like crashes the carriage because it's.
Right, it's not her fucking job.
Yeah.
She's just filling in like she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
She's too young to drive a carriage.
Right.
She doesn't have a license.
Right. Because we can point out, because it's going to matter, she is a minor.
She is a minor.
At this point in time.
Which is another favorite theme of mine, just young. Nope, didn't come out right.
No, let's just...
Scratch that.
I'm going to leave that in, but
Scratch
we're going to take it off the record.
Yeah, so anyway, she is also, super young. Super hot, like we already talked about.
Right. Kills the horse.
Kills the horse.
Because she's trying to cover for her dad, who's the boozer.
Right. And then...
Now they need money.
Yeah.
Because the horse is where they get the majority of their income from. Right?
I mean, I guess in some capacity, like the horse takes them to the market.
I guess. What does the dad do? Besides drink all day?
He goes to the market with the horse.
All right. So
I don't know. It's not
all
important.
right.
Minor detail.
Detail.
Something about going to the market.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so she kills the horse and then she feels guilty even though she shouldn't feel guilty. She's
Right.
just doing her
Just
dad a
trying to be a good
Yeah.
trying to be a good daughter.
Yeah.
Solid American.
So then there's this whole conversation where they're like, yo, you should go live with this woman you've never met who's a D'Urberville.
Right. The rich D'Urberville.
The rich D'Urberville.
Go claim kin.
Yeah, go get your gold.
Right. Get your piece of the vault.
Mm-hmm. And she, I think, is like,
Right.
I don't really want to do that. And then they convince her to, because it's like, fuck, I killed this horse, and now you're like guilting me into doing this.
Right.
This thing. I feel weird about like asking this woman I've never met for money.
Right.
But
did she like not care about that? Like, did she didn't care about being rich?
Tess?
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever a point where it's like
They bring it up.
Like she explicitly states, like, man, I wish I had.
Right. Wish I had a new horse.
I wish I had 2 new horses.
Right.
And some gold rims on the carriage.
Would be nice.
Be cool. Yeah. So her parents kind of force her into this situation, and the way that I kind of picture England when I read this book is that like there's just like hills, and like each town is beyond like the next hill.
Right, there's just like a small town in a valley, some farmland, big fucking hill.
Yeah.
And like you just over the hill and then it should just repeat.
Exactly. And you're like, go over that hill and you'll be in Trentridge.
Is that another town?
I think that's actually a town.
Okay.
I think that's where she goes. I think she goes.
Thought you were just freestyling that.
Nope, that's
she
legit.
for sure rolls to Trentridge.
Just read that a minute ago.
All right.
So yeah, just picture a bunch of hills and she's just climbing hills and.
Right, she doesn't have a horse.
She doesn't have a horse, so she has to climb on her own 2 feet.
So then she goes to meet Mrs. D'Urberville, Miss D'Urberville.
Right. And she shows up, and Miss D'Urberville is like an invalid, or I don't know. So this is where she meets Alec, who is not the first, but one of a few problematic.
Right. It's like the second shitty dude you meet. Her dad's the first one.
That's a more eloquent way to put it. Yeah. Thank you for stating it the way I was afraid to say it. Yeah.
And how does that go?
It just goes so well. It goes really well for Tess. If I remember correctly, Alex like, hey, you can't meet my aunt or mom or whatever. Like she's a shut-in. I don't know. There's some weird thing where he just kind of like weasels his way in, and I guess she somehow comes to live with them. And she takes care of something. Is that in your notes?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he gives her like a job tending the fowls.
Yeah.
And they're like, she needs to work, so she can't like say no. But also, it seems everything I read seems like he's like repeatedly just like pestering her and like trying to like get with her, during this whole time, like just like trying to wear her the fuck down. But he gives her a job, which she doesn't want to take, but she does because she killed the fucking horse, so she needs the money.
She's got to tend the fowls. You know the whole saying: if you kill the horse, you got to tend the fowls.
Right.
So yeah. That, which, to me, if I were her at that point, I'd be like, I don't think these people have any money. I think I'm barking up the wrong tree.
Which is a good time to point out that it turns out they're not even the real fucking D'Urbervilles. No. Like, that family name has been dead.
They're posers.
They're posers. They bought that name.
Mm-hmm.
They bought the name from, like, the last D'Urberville. They're like, yeah, sure, you can be a fucking D'Urberville. Like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter because we don't care about nobility anymore. And all that matters is that you have money.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I guess they must have had enough money to buy this.
Fancy legacy name. Of this name.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't have to be a derby field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she essentially gets fucked for
nothing.
Trying.
For just trying. But it turns out it would have been for naught anyways.
Yeah.
Because not even the real family.
No.
Just another level of just fucking pushing the sadness at you in this book.
Yeah. They're like, haha, you thought that was sad.
Right. Turns out it gets worse.
It gets worse. And it does. It gets worse.
It does get worse. Where are we at in this summary here? One night, after a dance in the local town, Alec tricks Tess into accepting a ride home with him. And he gets lost. Lost.
He's a little trickster.
Lost. I'm doing air quotes because the fucker didn't get lost. Takes her to the woods. And then when she falls asleep, he rapes her. Is that about right? Does that seem accurate?
As we noticed in my book, though, it's referred to politely as a seduction.
Yeah, that's
wherever that went. So tomato, rape, seduction.
Right. It's he doesn't state that she was raped.
No. It's like very
because this is like 1891, and he's not just gonna put that out there like that.
Right. He probably would have gotten ostracized for even thinking about it.
Being honest about what was happening to his own characters.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we go. Tess's Seduction. I should start a...
It's a good band name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tess's Seduction. If this doesn't work out, you got a future.
I don't know what I would play.
Right.
It's not important.
Doesn't matter.
Those aren't important right now.
No.
Yeah, so basically, it talks about how she's asleep. And he, like, kind of creeps up on her like a
fucking creep.
like a creep. And, like you said, it's not blatantly stated, but you read it and you assume that she's being raped.
Right.
And it even kind of says, like, doubtless some of Tess D'Urberville's mailed ancestors rollicking home from a fray had dealt the same measure even more ruthlessly towards peasant girls of their time. So basically they're just like, yeah, they were probably raping.
Right, this was normal. Like, this is like back when there was no laws and all the peasants were just raping. Just were just out fucking tending the fowl and then rape a milkmaid.
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
call it a day.
Exactly.
Read by your oil lamp. Whatever the fuck. What kind of fucking horrible shit. It's fucking.
Yeah. So I mean that's a pretty heady topic, I think, for a book of, what year did you say? 1892.
Yeah, 1891.
Yeah. So Thomas Hardy was not afraid to be scandalous, risque, to be out there.
No, yeah, and there was like some pushback. Like it was hard for him to get the book published. So they published serialized, like in a periodical, and then eventually it was well received, and they published it as a novel the next year. But the issue it wasn't Hardy's willingness to describe the rape, but his defiant insistence that Tess herself remains pure in spite of it that made the novel controversial. Which just tells you how fucking terrible it actually was in Victorian England. The rape itself wasn't the problem. It was the fact that he still portrays her as
somebody like worthy of
worthy of fucking existence for the rest of this novel.
Yeah.
Though it doesn't work out for her.
Right.
Well.
Which I think is something we can kind of touch on later. We'll get to sort of talk about the weird parallels, I think, in modern day society when we touch on Angel Clare. When we get back to Angel Clare. Right,
which we'll get to him pretty quickly.
He's coming up.
Yeah.
He's coming up.
So after the incident in the woods, she bolts.
Yeah, I think she's like books it.
Yeah.
Is that what your notes?
I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, that's not what. I don't think those are the words they use. She returns to her hometown.
Yeah. She goes home.
She's like, "You're a rapist. I don't want to tend your fowl anymore."
Yeah.
This fucking horse was not worth it. Like, shit is not worth it. I'm gonna go home and become a milkmaid.
Right.
And just be a laborer.
Yeah.
Just be a fucking laborer. But she comes home with a surprise.
And we'll be back in just a minute. Yeah. You could call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got a baby.
She's got a baby. Got a little bun in the oven. Little bun in the oven.
A little Alec.
Warming up. 350. About 35, 45 minutes.
This poor fucking young girl.
Right. Just trying to do the right thing.
Just trying to
raped in the woods.
Replace her father's horse.
Yeah. And now she's pregnant and has to give birth to this child and has to like stay hidden this whole time because like it's just shame.
Yeah.
Just like
it's unheard of.
Unwed rape baby. They don't even know it's a rape baby. She feels ashamed because it's a rape baby.
It's a rape baby.
Just
which can you imagine?
It happens. I guess it still fucking happens. A lot of parallels to this to real life.
Right. Can't even abort those rape babies.
Fuck! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That shit was not.
Tess was definitely.
Did not have any options for like family planning at all. Had probably no real resources or anyone to talk to about
I think
that.
her mom like had a baby too. Like there's like a child in that house that is also a baby.
Oh God.
Yeah. So she has the baby. And then you think, like, okay, like, good for her. She's had herself a baby. Everything's good. Just gonna be happy for a minute. You feel kind of good for Tess. And then just
But I'm sensing a big butt coming
just
on.
a big butt. More sadness, just a more tragedy.
Yeah, because the baby dies.
The baby dies.
Fucking dies, like right after it's born.
Baby.
Sickly, gross, fake D'Urberville baby.
Yeah.
Whom she names Sorrow.
Right.
She names it Sorrow. She's like, oh yeah, you're fucking Sorrow. That's an apt name.
Right. You were like born because of sorrow. You were born into sorrow. You might as well die sorrow. But she doesn't. I don't even think she christens the baby until like after it dies. Or there's like a whole scene where she like
does it like right before.
She can't christen it for some reason. Maybe because it's like illegitimate.
Yeah, she can't like she can't like tell anyone that she's had it. So
So, you know. Then she just buries it like sort of wordlessly.
There's like a section in the graveyard for like fucking shame babies.
Yeah.
Like no, like there is, right? That's like
there's like a bastard.
I'm not making this up.
No, you're not. I'm laughing, but it's very real. I wish I could find where is this where she names the baby Sorrow and then she buries it in the bastard seats.
Yeah, it's like just like the
and
the shitty section of the graveyard. It's like the grass is patchy and like it's like there's no trees or anything over there. Like
everything's dead. Oh yeah, because remember, this really awesome note in my book about marmalade and how it's a bastard mixture of jam and jelly. This person that took notes in my book is reaching, if you ask me. But, where has she named this jam baby? Oh yeah, Sorrow. I baptize thee in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. The baby was carried in a small deal box. I don't know what that is. Under an ancient woman's shawl. Very descriptive. To the churchyard that night and buried by lantern light at the cost of $1 and a pint of beer to the sexton in that shabby corner of God's allotment where he let the nettles grow, and were all unbaptized infants, notorious drunkards, suicides, and others of the conjecturally damned were laid.
Fuck.
So this baby's fucked.
Yeah.
He's like buried
and like it really was
drunkards.
Yeah. And like there's like it's not even nice there, it's where the nettles grow. I was just joking when I said that, but that's real fucking
it's a quote. It's a direct quote.
Oh God.
And God was the one who let those nettles grow. What an asshole.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of religious commentary about this book that we probably won't get too deep into.
Because neither of us knows anything about religion.
We're just not people of the cloth, as one would say. But it is interesting that she baptizes him and that she, even up to this point, still maintains some sort of faith in God.
Right.
Even though through time and again, she just keeps getting fucked.
Yeah. She made a little cross of 2 laths and a piece of string, and having bound it with flowers, she stuck it up at the head of the grave one evening when she could enter the churchyard without being seen, putting at the foot also a bunch of the same flowers and a little jar of water to keep them alive. What matter was it that on the outside of the jar, the eye of mere observation noted the words, Keelwell's Marmalade.
All she had was a marmalade jar.
Yeah, she's fucking poor.
And just like that baby was a bastard, marmalade
is a bastard mixture of jam and jelly.
It's a bastard mixture of jam and jelly. So maybe the crazy person that took notes in your copy of this book was actually onto something.
Yeah. And I think what she's really trying to say too is like the pores. She's talking about the pores.
She's talking about the pores, yeah.
They can't afford jam or jelly, they gotta get marmalade. So yeah. Right. So the baby.
Sorrow is dead. Sorrow's out of the picture.
Those are really deep sentiments.
Right.
Sorrow is dead. She's not dead for Tess. Yeah. Sorrow is never dead.
Let's see. So she moves on. I mean, I guess as much as you can. And then becomes a milkmaid at a dairy farm. And like, this is not a bad portion of her life.
This is the most hopeful portion of her life.
Right, she's got a couple friends.
She got some milkmaid buddies.
Some milkmaid buddies, a couple girls. Is Reddy and Marion.
Yep. Those three.
But who else is working there?
None other.
Fucking man from the Mayday dance.
None other than Eddie
Fake
Redmayne.
woke bae. Eddie Redmayne.
Woke bae. Angel Clare.
Angel Clare.
Angel Clare hops back on the scene. And you might think, is it fate?
Is it? Is it fate? Is it destiny?
Is it destiny?
Right.
Yeah, he as the more well-to-do of the time, when he's not out walking the countryside with his
right.
With his
he's just casually like becoming a farmer because he can.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'll apprentice at this dairy farm and like learn how to do
Fucking
dairy.
rich people.
Do dairy things.
Fucking rich people.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Tess is over there slaving away.
Right.
Waking up at 3 a.m. to milk these cows. So they cross paths again, and then I don't really. Do you have in your notes like a more detailed description of their?
Yeah, and this is
re-encounter
lifted from a summary of the I found on the internet.
Okay.
Yes, Angel Clare is at the farm to learn about farming methods. All 4 women soon fall in love with him.
Oh, right. He's hot.
He's just because he's hot. Just like Tess was hot and is still a little hot.
Yeah.
She's not a 10 anymore. She's like a 7. He's still in the prime. He's still fucking prime though.
Yeah.
He's still ready to go. He's buffed up. He's been wrestling with his bros.
Yeah.
Milking cows.
Sounds very like homoerotic.
All 4 women soon fall in love with him, but he chooses Tess and they begin a period of courtship. Angel asks her to marry him, but Tess refuses, feeling that she is not worthy of marriage and that she's afraid to tell him the details of her past.
Right, because she got that deep, dark secret.
Right, because like she was raped, so why would any man ever love her?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what worth or value could she bring to a rich man like Angel Clare?
Yeah, so they do marry though, don't they? They eventually marry?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. After a period of
she-
courtship, and she finally like agrees to it. She accepts, but is in constant turmoil. And then on their wedding night, Angel admits that he's had an affair with a woman in London before they were married.
Yeah.
So Tess, you know what I'm saying, she's feeling empowered. He told her like this secret. You know what I mean? That's what I imagine. She's like, oh shit, like I could share this with you. You're not going to judge me because like you fucked someone and like we're still married. I still love you. So she tells him about the rape and sorrow and that and both meaning sorrow and the fucking the bastard marmalade baby sorrow. And she tells him an Angel can't fucking take it.
Right.
He cannot fucking handle it.
There's another scene too where she like slips a note under his door because she has like so much guilt that she like writes it out in a note and slips it under his door. And then I think that like he wakes up the next morning and he's all cheery and she's like, oh, cool, like that went well. And then she realizes he never read the note.
Yeah. I saw that. I read that part too. Yeah. And then
so then I guess she just
tells him
straight up.
Yeah, she just like her conscience, like she can't take it, him not knowing. So she tells him.
She's like, oh, you've had other women, like, let me.
Yeah.
This is very comparable to.
Yeah, and then he tells her to get the fuck out of his life.
Yeah,
basically.
And they're in like some like house somewhere. I don't remember why or how, but they're just like.
Isn't it a honeymoon?
Yeah, I think so.
Did people have honeymoons back then?
They just go to old farmhouses.
Right. So they just go over the hill to the nearest fucking farm. Like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Right. These aren't my fowl. But yeah, there's a great quote from Angel to Tess. You were one person. Now you are another. The woman I have been loving is not you. So basically, it's like you're worthless. Like you.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, it's just unconscionable. but he, and I think that was kind of the parallel I was getting to earlier. Like, it still fucking happens today, right? Like, some woman is raped, and everyone's like, oh, shame on you. And then the dude's just like, yo, it's cool.
Yeah.
Scot-free, feeling good.
Right. Yeah, there's another quote from a review, or from an article I read on LitHub, where it says...
Is that like lit? Like this hub is lit?
Yeah, like this hub is lit.
Okay.
Like it's a literature hub.
Oh, okay.
A literary hub.
It's not like...
No, yeah, it's just like a lit party. You know what I'm saying? They post like EDM mixes of old Victorian novels. Says, the novel calls Angel a man of conscience and takes care to note that upon falling in love with Tess, he is determined not to toy with her affections. This is a noble intention, but as is the case with any fraudulent nice guy, it's predicated upon the safety of his own ravenous ego. So basically, like, he tries to be nice. He's like real nice when he's courting her and not to pressure her. But as soon as he finds out that, like, she is not pure, as the novel states, he's like, oh no, like, you're no good for me. Like, I'm of the rich, and it's bad enough that you're poor, but you also are used up, and can't have that. Yeah. Cannot have that.
And that's kind of, I mean, that just sucks because it's something completely out of her control. Like, she can't, she didn't choose to be raped.
Right, yeah. It's not not like him. He, like, fucked some woman in a brothel in London. Exactly. Like, he paid for that. Exactly. And, like, she got raped.
Yeah. It's like, it's cool. He's a dude, and whatever. Dudes can do whatever.
And again, just this novel is just chock full of shitty dudes. Yeah. Just shitty, like I said, shitty dudes.
Something I like to draw attention to.
Yeah.
So poor thing is just fucking... where did she go from there?
He dips. He dips out with one of the other milkmaids.
Yeah, he just fucking, like, he takes
He's like, boom, taking you. And he goes to Brazil.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah.
So I guess it's okay for him to just, like, adopt a mistress.
Yeah, because they're still married.
Yeah.
Because they're not...
And she wears the ring, like, on a string around her neck or something. I just read that. It's not a detail I remembered. I just read that.
Appreciate your research.
Yeah, so he's like, I've got business in Brazil. I don't remember why. Why does he go there?
He goes there to seek his fortunes. That's just what it says. It's just because that's something you did in the late 1800s. You're a white dude. Take a boat over to Brazil and milkmaid. Fucking see what you can come back with some gold. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which was the lucky milkmaid? Does it say?
Oh,
was it Marion? She seemed like a real.
No, Marion. Marion was the one that stayed with her.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Pick one.
Here I just found that quote that you just read.
Is the one.
It takes is.
Yeah, because see, so all of these girls were in love with him, and like he fucks all of them up. This is what makes him like the even biggest piece of shit. Because Reddy, when she find out that Angel doesn't like her, attempts suicide.
Oh damn! She would have ended up in that nettle patch.
And then dips right. Yeah. Be buried with fucking
baby sorrow.
Sucking baby. Baby sorrow. Oh, this is so horrible. Yeah. Marion, one of the other milkmaids, responds to his rejection by becoming an alcoholic.
Wow.
And
God, what a time. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. And the other one is the one that left with him, but then also just
was a stone cold bitch.
Yeah, and also she just like he never loved her. She was like second. Like she was always.
Well, yeah.
Because we all know Tess is like the queen, right?
The queen.
The queen
of Blackmore Vale or wherever they. Yeah. Is that from a different book? Is that a different English novel I'm thinking of? Marlott, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that where they're from?
Mm-hmm. So then Tess is, back to being poor again. Mm-hmm. She's working at a shitty farm with Marion, who's just also fucked up. Apparently tried to kill herself. Or no, is an alcoholic now.
She's not
bad. I get them confused.
I mean, the slow death, to be honest. You're
True.
Slowly killing yourself.
But then who does she run into?
Alex.
Alec.
Alec.
The man, the rapist is back. But he's a new man.
Right.
He's a new man.
He's like a preacher.
Yeah, he has found the Lord.
He's found the Lord.
He has found the Lord.
Like, fuck,
and is a preacher under Angel's father, who is also a preacher.
What is this small fucking English world?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you never go over the hill.
You just never.
You know what I'm saying? You just stay in your little
You stay in your veil.
metal patch.
Yeah. Interesting. And like my question is, what's so great about Angel Clare? He must just be. Is there just nobody else in all of this portion of England? Are there no other men? Like everyone just.
Right? Why do they all?
How desirable is this guy?
How could he possibly be? Yeah.
Like, is he just, a scale of like. Just trying to think of like a
right. He's like. He's like up. We keep raising our hands higher and higher. This is a visual medium. he's just fucking top tier.
He's top tier.
He's like Justin Bieber.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I was trying to think of like a comparison. I was kind of like Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa came to mind for some reason.
He's like The Rock. You know what I'm saying? He's like
of Marlon.
Yeah, and Alec is like Donald Sutherland or something. I don't know.
He's just old.
He's just old and shitty. He's like.
I was thinking like
Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Or like a Steve-O. Do you think Angel's name, like, it seems like he probably chose that name for him intentionally, right? There's got to be meaning in him naming him Angel. I don't know. We don't have to dig into that.
I would say it probably, because he represents...
the cloth. The church.
Well, that, and I think he represents, like angels are bringers of light. You know what I mean? He represents like a way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very
for
good.
Tess.
Very good. He's like top.
Yeah, he's like, again, raising our hands higher and higher. He's just
Angels are like on the top tier.
Big dick swinging energy. just can save any of the milkmaids that he can pick. Has his pick of milkmaids.
I thought he was just this squirrely little motherfucker, right?
Based on the movie interpretation, I would say yes. I would say yes. He looked...
Everything there is just so sad.
He had a very punchable face. This whole story is just sad.
Yeah.
It's just like constant...
Sorrow.
Constant fucking sorrow. Rest in peace.
Rest.
So where are we at? Tex randomly meets Alec. Now he's become an evangelical preacher, converted by Angel's father. When he sees Tess, he becomes enamored, quickly gives up Christianity and tries to seduce her. When she rejects him, goes home to care for her mother. Soon afterwards, Tess's father dies. Her family is then evicted. And it's where Alec swoops back in, Captain Save-A-Ho, and offers to help them if Tess returns with him.
Damn, ultimatum.
Yeah.
And then she does it.
She does it, because,
she's
got no fucking options.
She killed the fucking, it's all her fault.
Yeah, if she would have never... Can you imagine a world where she doesn't kill that fucking horse?
The alternate universe where, where Tess just gets to the market safely.
Yeah. Which is just this whole... There's like class undertones throughout this whole book, and like really just the whole thing is just about just the shitty lot you get when you're poor.
Right.
Like you didn't, you know what I mean? You had the misfortune of being born poor. Mm-hmm. So like, fuck you.
Yeah.
God is just gonna shit on you. Like just relentlessly.
And I think that rings true. Always.
Yeah, for the most part.
It still rings true.
Yeah. It really...
Like, we just fucking hate poor people.
Yeah. And many times, in this novel, blame them for their fucking misfortunes.
Exactly. We're like, oh, you got raped? It's probably because you're poor.
Yeah. Right, if you wouldn't have been there. If you wouldn't have killed that fucking horse. You would have killed that fucking horse.
And you we're too poor to buy a new one.
Right. And instead of trying to work for your money, claiming, trying to claim a lineage that wasn't yours to claim anyways,
If you'd just gone to
if you had just
Milken.
fucking gone to Milken and worked your way up, like
Right
you wouldn't
out
have been
the
in this
gate.
situation. What's wrong with you?
If you hadn't tried to ascend the ladder.
All right, so let's see, where are we at? So Tess, living with Alec, doesn't know that she's married. She doesn't tell him, and it's not really a thing. Like, he doesn't care.
At this point, like, she's tainted, dude. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, she has no worth left.
she's just worthless.
But this, like, does it, what length of time does this take place over? Would you say, like, a couple years?
Probably. Right?
So,
She was probably like 16 when it started.
Yeah. She's still got like a life,
18.
even a 1891 Victorian life. Still got a life ahead of her.
She's potentially got a life ahead of her.
She's like 18, so she's like middle aged. It's like their midlife crisis. It's like she's still got a whole half of her life ahead of her.
She has so much to look forward to.
We're gonna find out that she doesn't actually have like much to look forward to, I think. Because while living with Alec, who shows up back from Brazil, probably with a tan, but not with fortunes. But he's for sure tanned.
Hopefully.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that'd be really.
He probably just burned though, and then got pale again. That's what happens to me.
Seems like I think that's how it works for those type. The rich, they don't tan, they just get that milky pale skin. Yeah, so why does he come back? I can't remember.
Says he's grown sick in Brazil.
You grow sick.
I've grown sick. Decides to come home and forgive Tess.
Oh.
That's what he decided. He decided that he wanted
noble.
to. How noble of him,
Such
right?
a noble.
Like, yeah, you're all used up, but you know what?
You're still kind of cute.
I'll take you.
You still got half your
I'll
life
tell you.
ahead of
You know how to tend to fowl. You can run a whole milking operation on your own.
Yeah.
I forgive you for getting raped
Right.
by another man in the woods when you were a minor.
Exactly.
I forgive you for that.
And that's why he is just.
And that's why he's there. He's there to profess his love, profess his forgiveness. And
she falls for it, doesn't she?
I think she kind of does, but she also, at this point, she kind of like says that it's like the time has passed. Like you're too late. Like I'm with Alec now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we're still married, but I'm with him. And then Angel leaves, and then Tess gets into an argument with Alec. He insults Angel.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, because she stabbed the shit out of him.
She fucking
Murdered him.
Just killed him.
Just murder stabbed him.
Totally.
Could you imagine the rage though? Just
Yeah,
God,
like, how
I want to
mad?
stab him. I'm over here making
Right.
stabbing motions. Just
You were like,
Yeah.
is that what that is?
Practicing my stabbing.
that what's
Just
going on
like
over
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she just has like all this built up rage, and then she's like, "Don't you dare insult
Yeah,
my
don't you
man."
dare insult my man, my shitty
My
man,
knight in
my
shiny
knight in
armor.
shitty shiny armor.
My D'Urberville. Wait, no, he's not the D'Urberville.
No,
Um,
none of them
Yeah.
are fucking D'Urbervilles.
so she just like total badass.
Yeah, stabs the shit out of him.
Stabs the
Just
shit out with what? What was the tool? Do we remember? She uses it.
stabbing utensil.
She uses a stabbing utensil to stab him. It's like a letter. Is it a letter opener or something?
God, I hope so.
I really hope so too. That'd be dope.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say. It's just like she stabbed him.
Yeah. Because again, I think it's like the rape thing where it's not gone into in detail.
Okay.
Like
It's
all
not
like the
explicitly
really
stated.
horrible shit is just like happens in your mind.
Right.
Which I guess means
So
it's so well written.
Yeah, I think like that's kind of it's kind of gratifying maybe for the reader that she like finally just gets something. Like she's just lived this terrible life, and you know what she does isn't moral, but like whatever. I think it's just probably cathartic for her and for the reader.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, fuck this.
Right.
Fuck
I'm gonna finally take
crazy
agency.
Rapist. You should have been like put into prison for raping me, but instead I'll just kill you. And then
she runs off with
Angel.
With Angel.
Yeah.
And tells him that she killed Alec, but he doesn't really like believe her. But they're back in love, allegedly back in love.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. And then this is a fun scene.
Oh, the ending scene? The final.
Well, like they just end up at Stonehenge somehow.
They do, yeah. It's like they're on the run, kind of, for about a week or so.
Stumble on Stonehenge.
They stay in an empty mansion for 5 days, and then they continue walking, and in the middle of the night, just stumble upon to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
It's a weird setting.
Yeah, it's super bizarre. It's a cool image.
Yeah.
I hope the movies all actually take place at Stonehenge. Hope they depict it accurately.
Yeah.
So she falls asleep at Stonehenge.
And then wakes up, and they are
Besieged.
surrounded by the motherfucking popo.
Yeah.
Just fucking pigs. Just.
Right, but the best part I think is like at one point the police I think they descend upon them and Angel's like, hey, can you just let her sleep? She's tired. She looks so peaceful.
Yeah, it's the summary. It says, at dawn, Angel sees that they are surrounded by police. He finally realizes that Tess really has committed murder and asks the men in a whisper to let her awaken naturally before they arrest her.
Yeah.
Which what
I wonder
kind
how
of
long they
fucking,
were waiting.
Kind of level of privilege
Yeah.
is this? This would never happen. This would never happen.
But she's finally getting what's owed to her, that rest. She's getting some rest.
Which you'll see,
She's
she will get
finally
eternal
using
rest.
The privilege that she never had before.
When she opens her eyes and sees the police, she tells Angel that she is almost glad because now I shall not live for you to despise me. Her parting words are, I am ready.
Damn.
It's also good to know that before she fell asleep that night, she asked Angel to look after her younger sister, Liza Lou, saying that she hopes that Angel will marry her after she is dead. So it's like she knows. She knows this is coming because she knows
She
that.
murdered somebody, so you know.
She murdered a man.
Yeah, and she's on foot. She's not getting far.
No.
She doesn't have a horse to
No. They tried.
rapidly carry her over the hills.
Yeah.
The heathen temple. They refer to Stonehenge as the heathen temple.
Which again, a lot of weird religious symbolism in here. From there she's escorted to prison, and the novel closes with Angel and Liza Lou watching from a nearby hill as the black flag signaling Tess's execution is raised over the prison. They then join hands and go on their way.
Sing a song. Yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah.
She never asked for this lot in life.
No, and didn't have a long life, despite living to middle age. Did not have a long life. And
she really just did like what anyone should do.
Yeah, which is a good motto is if someone rapes you, stab them.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
stab your rapist.
Stab your rapist.
Stab your rapist. That's a platform anyone could run on, and I would for sure vote for you
at the next
today.
debate.
If you're an aspiring politician and stab your rapist is your motto, I will volunteer my time and money to you.
Exactly. She, in my opinion, like that's a pretty badass thing to do. And he was just a skis. He deserved it. So it's just sad that.
Yeah, I mean, both these dudes sucked. They were both awful. in their own way. Angel, I could say, probably didn't deserve to get stabbed. Alec for sure deserved the murder. So.
Yeah, I mean, Angel was like harmless. He was a dumbass. He was terrible in that he should have just, let Tess be, let her live her life.
Well, yeah, he either should have loved her for who she was,
right.
Or when he decided that he didn't, just fucking leave her alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just, like, let her live out her shitty life with her rapist husband. Like,
yeah.
If that's what she wants to do. Then she'll stab him for a different reason later, maybe.
Right.
But there's, like, a weird theme in there of, like, men controlling women. It's just, like... Because Alec controls her physically, I feel like Angel kind of controls her, or tries to control her emotionally and like psychologically.
And she never stood a chance from the moment we meet poor Tess.
No.
The only moment of
the only nice and pure moment
is the very beginning when she's just dancing in her white.
Right.
Which is probably symbolism too. Like
right.
She's wearing white.
Yeah.
Like she has not been besmirched yet. What color is she wearing after she gets the old Evo?
Nothing but black, probably. It's just her goth phase.
After sorrow dies.
After sorrow dies.
She's just in mourning. And there's probably some description in this book about how like the black just really brings out the lovely paleness of her skin or something.
And yeah, she ends up hung.
Yep.
For it.
Yep.
Which, another fun fact that I came across when I was doing my research is that Thomas Hardy, the author, when he was 16, was witness to the last woman that was ever publicly hanged in England.
The last woman?
The last woman who was publicly hanged in England.
Do you have a name?
Elizabeth Martha Brown.
What did she do? She stabbed her husband?
She murdered the shit out of her husband. Yeah, because he had been beating the shit out of her, and then he was whipping her, and she was like, nah, and she took a hatchet and just fucked him up and murdered the shit out of him. But, yeah, it was a weird experience for a young Hardy, though. So he wrote 70 years later that he was ashamed to have been there, but even more so that he later pleasured himself thinking of the event.
Yeah, that's some...
And that this woman in this experience was directly like his like core influence for Tess. Like she was like where this character came from.
Oh, okay.
It was like this experience.
So she... It says that, like she directly inspired.
Yeah.
Interesting. It makes you wonder.
Yeah. Said, I remember what a fine figure she showed against the sky as she hung in the misty rain.
Wow.
And how the tight black silk gown set off her shape as she wheeled half round and back.
Oof. Really?
So you like seeing this woman hanging there. It was like, fuck, you are...
Got a body.
you are dead and hanging, but you kind of got a body, and that silk is tight when it's hanging like that. So yeah, Hardy maybe was like...
How old was Hardy at that time?
When this happened, when he was witness, 16.
Ah, interesting.
Just a budding young architect.
Interesting. Yeah, that's right.
He was an architect, yeah, but like before he was a famous.
Yeah, and he was like, never mind.
Famous novelist / poet. He wrote a bunch of shit.
So many books.
Yeah.
He's actually written a surprising number of books. That is not a lie. Is this one? Which one does this? Where does this fall in his canon?
I think this is later. This is considered his his most famous work, which I'm excited to get to read it. Now, I'd never heard of this book before you suggested it, so thank you for that.
I'm glad that this one appeals to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. One
of the other things that is interesting about this book, he uses just some crazy ass words. So when you're reading it, have like a notepad next to you.
Right.
If you're so keen.
Right. Like
some
look it
things
up.
They're like made up. I don't know. They're just things that nobody says.
People don't talk like that anymore.
People don't talk like that. I don't know if they ever did.
We don't use the Queen's English the way that we used to.
Or if he was just sitting like with the
big old thesaurus.
Thesaurus next to him.
Just thinking
I wish
about
I could find a good example. I swear to God, it's in here everywhere. But yeah, I think the first time I read this book, I had like a notebook next to me. I was just writing down all these, and then with the intention of eventually looking them up, and I don't think I ever did. And at that point, if you're not like looking it up while you're reading it, then
right, you're never going to.
Just never.
Because then you're just reading something you don't even understand.
Yeah, interesting. Cool.
So, I guess the first question I have, which is just the reoccurring question of this podcast, is does the rapist love the rapee? Does Alec actually love Tess, or is he just fucking crazy? Because he can't leave her alone.
Right.
Like, that's like...
I think he's obsessed.
He's just obsessed.
In the same way that, like, our last protagonist...
Ah, yeah.
Although we did argue that he genuinely loved her.
I don't buy it with Alec. I think he's just a
bad
fucking bad dude. Just a bad garbage bad man. Just a shitty dumb man.
Yeah, I think his is more just like lust and desire, I guess.
Now what about Angel? Because I think that Angel, he loved her. I think it just, he was just shitty too, and like couldn't accept it.
Like, I think Angel thinks he loves her.
Okay.
Or he loves the idea of her, maybe.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then as soon as she doesn't live up to that idea,
he
dips. But then he comes back and is like, I fucked up. Like, you are the fairest of all the milkmaids.
Is just wasn't cutting it.
Right, is a bitch. The other one's a drunk. Like, the other one tried to kill herself. You're the only one left.
Yeah, you're my best hope at this point. No, I think he like sees her as sort of this fair maiden.
Right.
And in his mind, because she's so chaste initially, and then he just can't handle the truth,
Yeah, I guess I did actually write that in my notes. My question was, does Angel really love Tess, or does he just idealize a version of her that doesn't exist?
Bam, right there.
So,
yeah.
I'll take back that he loved her. Maybe.
Yeah. Although, you could also argue that version does exist.
Yeah.
Because, as Hardy himself, the claim he's making is that she still should be considered
She's still
pure.
considered pure, yeah. Even after she was raped, even after, she murdered a dude.
Yeah.
Because, he deserved it, but she still murdered someone.
Right. Circumstance, it's all,
Yeah.
We're all products of our circumstances.
And then, then he just he leaves off with her sister.
Yep.
Which is like, what is she, just like Tess 2.0? Is they just like, is she like the better version?
Yeah, because she hasn't been raped. That we know of.
Right.
There could be a sequel.
Knowing what I know about Thomas Hardy, she's probably also only suffered misfortune.
Yeah, no, she's poor. We already covered this, nothing good comes to them.
Is there any optimism
in this story?
Is there any, do you feel optimistic at the end? Like when you're finished, when you finish reading the book, do you feel like, oh, this was okay? Or do you like, oh, this was just fucking super depressing?
For the most part, like super depressing, which is what we discussed already, which is why
you like it.
The book, which just makes me sound like a sociopath. I just loved it because it was so fucking sad.
Right. This is the saddest thing I've ever read. Is you have to read it. Are you having a good day? You should read Tess of the D'Urbervilles.
You guys go down in the dumps for a little while and read this book. But I do, in a weird way, I do feel like Tess kind of just is free in her own shitty way.
Yeah, no, that's
at the end of the story, like it's like there was no other ending for her. Like
no, and she seems to have like made
peace.
She made peace with it, and then like as soon as from when she lays down, on the altar at Stonehenge. That's what it's described as. The heathen altar. She seems to be like, at least maybe for the first time since the May Day dance, content with what's going on around her. Like, because it's just been nothing but like trouble. Strife since then.
Yeah. I mean, from the moment after the May Day dance, everything that happens in your life, every occurrence, you kind of think to yourself, like, there's no other, like, she doesn't have an out. She's not just going to miraculously, like, be okay. Although there is some weird thing about, like, her mom or somebody ends up, like, living in a, I don't know, I read it on Wikipedia. I think she, like, ends up kind of well-to-do.
Oh, good for her. Good for her.
The mother.
Glad someone made it out.
Yeah.
Glad someone made it out.
Yeah. She's just dripping in, like, diamonds.
Right. Oh, yeah, because the dad dies, so then, like, the family is kind of split up.
They get all that money that he wasn't
supposed to get.
They're spending on alcohol now.
Well, yeah, because there were no D'Urbervilles. Alec didn't have any real money.
Right.
There was nothing. There's like a scene where like she's finally with him and she's in the mansion and she realizes that like the vaults are hollow. And like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Which just like doubles down on this was all for naught.
Right.
Like
Right.
Just like the whole fucking theme of this book.
Just emphasizes what a terrible person he is because he's just letting her believe this. This lie.
So he can rape her.
And I don't know. I mean, yeah, his obsession is interesting.
Any any final thoughts? Why should people read this book?
For all of the reasons already mentioned, obviously. I think it's like a very good representation of the time period in which it was written. It's a classic. It's a classic novel. But I think what's kind of cool about it is it's cool. It's really cool.
What's just totally awesome about it?
It's totally dope about this book.
Besides the language that you can't understand.
Yeah, exactly. All the weird religious references that you probably need like an entire other like spark note to process. I think he was like Thomas Hardy was kind of doing something unique, maybe. I don't know. I just feel like this is like a pretty progressive
for the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Like
I would say so. I would say so.
She's kind of a hero.
No, she is, and he, I think he portrays her that way, and he doesn't let like all of the bad things that happen to her don't take away from her like inherent goodness, which I guess we have a fucking really low line for what's considered progressive back in Victorian England at the turn of the century, and I think that I would consider that progressive.
Yeah. And I think though too, like some of the things that we talked about that like parallel today, sort of just reading it to see that like times haven't changed all that much.
Yeah, which I think we dealt with that with Lolita also.
We sure did, yeah.
So again, men are trash historically and sometimes currently.
Yeah. So I think just pick it up. Go to the old bookstore. Go to the old library.
Go to the library. Go to the library.
Go to the Goodwill.
You could probably get one for 99 cents at the Goodwill.
Find yourself a copy.
They'd probably just give it to you if you ask them.
That's true. They're like, get this.
We have 30 of these.
Get this out of my hand. Steep a nice cup of tea.
Yeah.
Settle down on a rainy, rainy night.
And just have a good cry.
Just have a good cry. I don't think I ever cried during the reading of this book. But I did just feel immense sorrow.
Sorrow.
I was thinking, when I was trying to like think of a description for the character, I was thinking of her like, I think you even maybe called her a badass.
She seems like a badass. Yeah. I mean, she's a survivor.
She's a survivor. That's true.
She's like consistently through the whole story. She just keeps on fucking soldiering.
So she's like a badass but also like a very tragic figure. So I was thinking in my head earlier, I was like, aren't we all?
Aren't we all just badass?
Tragic figures.
Tragic.
Or at least
feminine heroes.
We're all feminine heroes. She's a fucking feminist.
She is. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, do you want to read feminist text for the ages? Written by, we won't even delve into the author. He's probably like some kind of creep.
I mean, probably. He's like a white dude from the 1800s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
repeatedly pleasured himself to thinking about the woman that got hung in front of him. So you'd say he's probably kind of fucked up.
Right. But he was saying something.
There's something in this old book right here.
He's saying something.
Some important secrets there.
So you said you would read this book.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to. I'm going to read it before the end of the year.
Okay. Where are you going to get your copy?
I'll probably borrow it from you.
This precious.
I'll probably get it on my Kindle. That way, when I need to look up the words, you can just highlight the word and it'll define it for you.
Damn. There's probably not even definitions for some of these words. Like I said, they're just made up. But good luck.
Then I'll have to read it on my iPad then,
and
so that it can Google it.
Once you've read it, we can revisit.
All right.
That's all I got.
That's all it. That's it. That's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. What are you reading right now?
We were talking about it earlier, but I can't. I think it's called In the Garden of the Beasts.
Something about Nazis?
Yeah, it's about the Nazis. It's about the dude that he's like the German, not the German. He's the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador.
Oh, okay.
To Germany during Nazi time.
Sounds spicy.
During the height of
Nazi Germany.
Stuff, Nazi things going on. I haven't gotten very far into it, but it's pretty engaging.
Nice.
It's worth a read. So, what are you reading? Is that important?
Is it? I'm reading this book. It's called I'm gonna fuck the title up. If Cats Disappeared from the World Tomorrow.
Oh, I saw that sitting on your counter.
Yeah, so it's by a Japanese author, and it's about a dude he's got a brain tumor, finds out he's gonna die, and then meets the devil, who give him one day of life, and every day of life he gives him takes something away from the world.
Ah.
So I'm like halfway through it. It takes place, I think, over the course of a week. The first thing he took away was phones. I think the next thing he took away was movies. And these are all things that are important somehow to the character. And during these chapters, he sort of reminisces and reflects on just his life and the way those things have played into it. It's really good. I almost cried once already. I'll probably cry before the book is over. Yeah, because I think at the end he gets rid of his cat, and that's gonna do me in.
I do love a good cry. I love a book that makes me cry.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I would suggest that you read it.
Okay. Put it on the list.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
That's all.
Yeah. And now a word from our sponsors.